Welcome to Managing Uncertainty, a podcast series from the experts at Bryghtpath discussing global risk, business continuity, and crisis management. Will you be ready to lead your organization through its critical moment?
It's September.
It is.
And September every year in the United States is National Preparedness Month, or NPM, because federal government likes acronyms.
Yeah. Yep, that's true. This particular month is, for our line of work, is really important, and we've used it a lot of times with previous employers that we've had.
And clients today.
And clients that we have today to talk about these things of being prepared.
Yeah, so we've often used National Preparedness Month as a kind of a communication and awareness month. We did it at our previous employer, and we've done it with clients. We should have a client with a major awareness campaign, all centered on National Preparedness Month. But it's a great time to engage with your employees because there's a lot of messaging, state, local, county, federal government, through FEMA and the Department of Homeland Security and the READY campaign and the American Red Cross and others about how to be prepared personally at your business, at your church, and in other activities that you may or may not be involved in.
Yeah, it's a great reset. And like you said, there's always events going on around National Preparedness Month. So it's the best time to be talking about it in your, not just your business, but also your home.
National Preparedness Month always has a set of themes. The theme this year from the READY campaign, this is FEMA's group that works on individual and community preparedness. You can learn more about them at ready.gov, which is a FEMA website. But the theme this year is disasters don't plan ahead, you can.
Which I love because we always use that. We talk about that all the time.
We do.
Make a plan.
We can all take action to prepare, and their themes all revolve around the National Preparedness Month goal of increasing the number of individuals, families, and communities that engage in preparedness actions at their home, work, business, school, and places of worship.
Yep.
Within that theme, there's a different focus every week. This year, the first theme is make a plan for yourself, your family, and your friends. So what we're talking about here is like the episode that we had done of this podcast a few weeks ago about how do you engage in personal preparedness. And it's all about make a plan, have a kit, and be informed.
And it starts with yourself, right? Yourself and your home and your family and your immediate neighbors.
So it talks, here we're thinking about what is your family's preparedness and response plan? If something were to happen and you had to leave your home or your place of work, where would you meet? And, do you have an emergency kit that has the right contents in it? And have you practiced
right? And
that plan?
Are you communicating that plan to others outside of the household?
Do your kids know?
Yeah.
Do your parents, your in-laws, your what have you?
Brothers and your sisters and all the people that you care about, do they know what your plan is?
The week 2 theme this year is plan to help your neighbor and community. So here, how can you work together as a neighborhood or as a group of friends perhaps that are nearby? And how does your plan fit into the broader community plan of what will your local community do in a disaster? And this can be as simple as what you might do as the neighborly thing. When your neighbors have a disaster, you take them in and you share your clothing and you give them food and water. And what would you do if your neighbor's house was on fire? These are all things that I think almost all of us would want to do. And
it's kind of like a neighborhood watch, right? So if you're getting together with your neighbors and talking about these things, and there's all kinds of things that you can do to prepare. So if you have special skill sets, let's say you're an EMS worker or you have CPR certifications and things like that. Those are good things to share so that when things happen, the neighbors know who to go to for different things. Or as simple as I'm a generator technician on the side or something like that. Those are good skills to share with your neighbors.
I need a neighbor that's an electrician and I need a neighbor that's a plumber. And right now I need a neighbor that's a tree cutter.
Yeah. Well, ironically, we always joke in the National Guard, those that have listened to us before, I'm a member of National Guard. We always joke in the National Guard about how everyone has multiple skill sets. As we go overseas in the National Guard, and you've got electricians and you've got carpenters, and you build entire camps because everyone has all these different skills. So it's the same kind of thing, same kind of idea, I think, here.
Mm-hmm. The week 3 theme this year is practice and build out your plans. So, the idea of, we always talk about in business of doing exercises to practice, to build the muscle memory for executing your plans. And this is similar, although we probably, none of us think that you should be exercising your family preparedness plan. But think about, being in your home and there's a fire, and do you and your spouse and your children know what you would do? Mm-hmm. Have you practiced? Do they know where to go? Or you have a break-in in your home. What is your family's plan in that situation? I mean, where do you go? Where do you shelter?
Yeah, and I think building out the plan, right? If you've practiced these things, you know what, you might have a better idea of what's going to work and what isn't. So you might want to make some changes to your plans if you realize, that's not going to work because I can't actually get out that window because it's on the second floor or whatever the issue is.
Right. The week 4 theme is get involved, be a part of something larger. I think this is their patriotic, so to speak, call to action that how can you be involved beyond just your family and perhaps your neighbors? And so you can look at things like the FEMA community emergency response team training, where you're learning how can you help your broader community in a natural disaster. You might be helping clear brush or something. But there's lots of things that CERT teams do as a part of a local or regional response to an incident. What are some other ideas?
The American Red Cross is another good place to go to.
Mm-hmm.
If you can go to the American Red Cross website, they actually have different areas where you can volunteer. Mm-hmm. Different things, even pet rescue and things like that you may forget about. There's different information on those there too.
You may also find that there are volunteer opportunities. There's often volunteer opportunities with your city police department, with the fire department, with EMS, with your county sheriff's office. And there's probably even volunteer opportunities at a county or state level with emergency management agencies where you can go through some training and be selected as a volunteer and then be able to help them in a capacity that is beyond just taking care of your family and your neighbors in the event of an emergency. I know you and I worked with several folks who had been in law enforcement but had left law enforcement to join the private sector, but still volunteered as reserve officers and deputies on everything from the water patrol to the mounted horse park patrol to, working the street as a volunteer officer that had arrest power and was able to assist police or sheriff departments in those situations.
Yeah, I've been involved with several different sort of mass disaster type scenarios with the National Guard, and entire communities truly do come together to fill sandbags and to help their neighbors out and to help local businesses out and things like that.
We talked earlier, but we want to dive into this a little bit, that National Preparedness Month is really a great opportunity to think about how you can use this month and the messaging that's happening outside of your business to drive things in your business, even if it's nothing more than helping your employee base become more prepared personally and as a family. Because we know that when a disaster strikes your community, it's going to impact both your employees and their families in that, kind of nuclear center of their universe. But it's also going to impact your business. And if they're not well prepared or they're worried about what's going on at home, they're not going to be able to come and help recover the business because they're going to be tied up with taking care of what's most important to them, which is not your work.
Yeah, it's not, believe it or not, that's not going to be the number one thing that they're worried about at that given time. But like you said, if they know that their family is okay and taken care of, then they can concentrate on what's next. So
one thing that we've done, and we've recently completed this campaign for a large client of ours, but you can do a great internal awareness and education campaign using National Preparedness Month themes. We've created posters and trifold brochures and
table
talkers, as we used to call them.
Table talkers.
And a slew of online content, digital collateral material, training posters, awareness posters.
We've brought speakers in with different levels of expertise in different areas.
And these are all things that you can do to drive awareness. You can use the collateral, obviously, to kind of drive some awareness around what's going on, but you mentioned speakers. It's great to bring people in that can really engage an audience around some type of preparedness or response topic that kind of crosses the chasm between personal, family, and the business environment.
Yep.
I know at our prior employer, we had brought in Rich Serino, who had been was the deputy administrator at FEMA at the time, and had led their on-the-ground response in Joplin, Missouri, where you had this enormous impact on a community. I mean, one of the worst tornado strikes in American history, and incredible tales of heroism resilience that came out of that, which also had this massive impact to schools, to churches, to businesses that were also impacted, and the difficulty the city went through in trying to bring all of that forward. And Joplin's really been a great case study of how to do that right.
Yeah, it was really successful, I think, at getting employees to really start thinking about, hey, this really could happen to me, or it could happen to all of us, or it could happen to anyone. Mm-hmm. So it really was good at opening eyes of what can be done to prepare and what can be done in the response of.
Mm-hmm. You can also do events with your local public safety agencies. I mean, everyone likes to go out and play with fire trucks, so you can have... Yeah. You can bring in the fire department and the police and EMS and emergency management, and they can have a chance to show off their toys, and your employees can have a chance to interact and hear from professionals lessons about how to be better prepared, or how to respond, how to recover long term, and you can play with
what they want from you in
right?
that situation. Yeah. You can also schedule tours at different places, like different GSOC centers, infusion centers, and things like that, which can be really good to get people involved and interested, which we've done that before too.
We have. So those are a few ideas for National Preparedness Month. We'll link in the show notes some links to the Ready campaign, to the American Red Cross, and to other resources that are out there for free that you can use as a part of this.
Also, if you're looking for any ideas on any additional ideas than what we've already talked about on how to prepare yourself, your community, your businesses, we're always here to help as well at Bryghtpath.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Managing Uncertainty, produced by the experts at Bryghtpath. To receive notifications of new episodes, join our newsletter at bryghtpath.com or subscribe through your favorite podcast player, such as iTunes or Google Play. Learn more about the services and trusted advice from Bryghtpath by visiting bryghtpath.com. That's BRYGHTPATH.com.